Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Special edition.
The Open is here.
24.1.
Yep. I almost forgot what year it is. Yeah, so they officially announced it. We just watched it.
Like minutes ago.
And then Zoss did it.
I just did it.
Immediately.
My heart rate is still 120 and I'm sweating.
So this is a post-workout edition.
Yeah.
So the workout is has nothing to do with a mushroom, of course.
Yeah,
I don't know
weird.
why he thought that made any sense. You do not do any mushrooms. You do not do anything weird. It's just a workout.
People had all kinds of interesting ideas like mushrooms, we be tripping. It's going to be double unders or like a Super Mario, like jumping or
Box
something.
jumps.
Box jumps. No. I mean,
So
I guess there's a little jumping, but
It's 21 dumbbell snatches on the right, 21 burpees lateral over the dumbbell, 21 dumbbells on the left or right. I guess you can use either arm.
Yep.
And then 21 more burpees, and then 15s, and then 9s. So it ends up being 90 total reps of dumbbell snatches and 90 total reps of burpees jumping over the dumbbell.
we watched Jeff Adler crush it in like 6 minutes and 13 seconds.
When they were first starting, Zoss was like, "How long do you think this will take?" And I'm like, "I think they'll be like somewhere between 7 or 8 minutes." And I was a minute over. Jeff was like 6:02 or something.
6:13, I think.
6:13, yeah. So fast. That's gross.
I was saying it's cool to see them like on basic movements go basically as fast as humanly possible. And then he didn't slow down. I think maybe he even got slightly faster.
Yeah.
And just rep for rep with Fikowski, who's so tall.
Yeah.
It makes sense that Adler, his snatches would be faster. He just has less distance to travel. But man, the burpees, he was just cruising. That's like 2 seconds per rep.
Height disadvantage for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as strategy goes, this is one of those workouts where it's just like, how hard are you willing to try? And so if you can go unbroken and continue to maintain a pace, then that's what most of the fit people are going to do. The weird thing is that it's all on one arm. A lot of people are used to just switching every time. So you just did it. How did it feel doing them all on the same side?
I greatly prefer that. If you know me at all, I don't train dumbbell snatches. I don't do them ever in my training. They hurt my back. So I do them once a year in the open when I have to.
Yeah.
And I'm not that good at them because I don't work on them. And now my back will hurt for 3 days, but it is what it is. And the rest of my training, the rest of the year goes better. But me personally, I prefer to do them all on one side because then there's less velocity on the dumbbell and there's less of the trading hands as it's coming down and kind of falling in front of you. So much easier for me to control, get myself in a good position. I greatly prefer do them all in one arm.
Yeah.
I started with my bad arm. I started with left. I figure while my hip extension is more fresh, I should do the bad arm. So it gets the most help from the hips. And then do the left arm, the big set of 21 first. Then you do burpees. Now your shoulders are more tired. Then I went and did the right arm, the stronger one, do the burpees again. So always doing the bad arm more fresh. So.
Yeah. And really mostly only is important on that first round when you're completely fresh, when you're just starting, but that's your biggest set. So if you can get through that big set on your weak arm all in a row,
fresh,
you're way more likely to do it with your 15 and your 9. So
I would say that's hot tip number 1.
Yeah.
Start with your bad arm. You're default going to grab the dumbbell with your good hand. So just make sure you start with the bad arm. The set of 15, as always, was the worst.
Yeah.
The only one I broke up was the set of 15 on the left arm,
which
was the first one. I think I went 8 and 7. The rest of them, and I shouldn't have put it down. I just, you know how it gets in the round of 15 where you're like, ooh, it all hits you at once.
Yeah. So it's not about the 21s. It's the 15s for sure. Like the 21s are tiring and that's the slowest round because it's just the most work to do. But mentally it's the 15s that it will hit you. That's the round you have to like mentally just be like, I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah. Just hold on. You can always, I do this little game. I'm like, okay, get to 8. Now you're halfway done. Okay. You just got to get past 10. I'm like, okay, you're not going to put it down with 5 left. Like, well, now it's 11. Now you're not going to put it down with 4 left. And then I'm always trying to think like 2 reps in the future. Like it'll feel so good when you get to 12 and then, then you'll only have 3 left. I'm like always just trying to play that game to think ahead.
The mental gymnastics.
The burpees, make sure you position yourself so that as you lay down beside the dumbbell, your hip bones are in line with the handle. Because when you hop your feet in, you need to hop your feet in under your hips in order to have the balance to be able to jump. If you hop your feet in and they're behind your hips, you have to push your shoulders back over top of your hips. That's just how like geometry works. So make sure your hips are in line with the handle of the dumbbell, hop your feet in line with the dumbbell, and then just go straight over. I was doing a 2-foot takeoff and 2-foot landing, which is just like motor pattern, what's conditioned, but that's not a requirement. And towards the end, I was playing with a little hippity hoppity do, little giddy up over the dumbbell. And that felt substantially easier than jumping off of 2 feet at the same time. So a little giddy up. You do have to jump. You can't step over the dumbbell.
Yeah.
But I was finding for some reason the little giddy up.
Yeah. So the rules specify that both feet have to clear the dumbbell. Both feet have to be in the air, but you don't have to do a 2-footed takeoff or 2-footed landing. So you can just like one then the other. You cannot step over it. Clearly says you're not allowed to step over.
Yeah. And both your feet have to pass over the dumbbell. That's why you need to make sure when you hop your feet on your burpees that you're beside the dumbbell. So you're going to travel over it, not around in front or behind it.
So I would say another pro tip is if you're trying to be really fast and you're trying to put up a time, then I would mark a little spot where your dumbbell needs to be. And then you'll either have handprints from chalking your hands, or you'll just need to mark where your hand should be. Because sometimes when people get moving quickly, sometimes they kind of shift around a little bit, especially with burpees. And if you set your dumbbell down and continue to do burpees in the same spot, but your dumbbell has now moved, now all of a sudden you have to step a little bit to get towards where you need to jump over your dumbbell. So I would have a little line, little chalk line or something of where you want your dumbbell to be and where you want your hands to be on both sides, and just make sure you're consistently doing that. And
I was just using a seam of the floor tiles of where I was putting my dumbbell down.
Yeah.
And then because there's no full extension required on the burpees, you can stay low and hop over. These are the fastest burpees. Yesterday in the gym, someone was like, "Oh, I hope it's not burpees." They're like, I really hate bar facing burpees. I was like, no. Those ones are the best because they're slower. They're just, the rate of them is slower. So they're just nowhere near as hard. Lateral burpees over something are the fastest. So therefore the hardest, because you can do about 2-second reps if you really hustle. So you can stay low, and that's definitely the quickest. You can kind of like froggy hop straight over without needing to bring your hands and your shoulders up, which I was doing. And I like burpees, and I'm usually pretty quick at burpees, but then I was finding just staying in that hunched over position for so long, I was like, I can't breathe. Like my lungs just felt so squished. Yeah. So, I was like having to stand up and take some breaths and just, get some air into my lungs, because you're bent over on the snatches quite a bit of the time. And if you're hunched over on the burpees most of the time, it was just straight up getting air into my lungs that was becoming the problem. Yeah.
The majority of that workout, you're kind of in a compromised position. So even just like your back soreness as well, like being hunched over the whole time, it's going to add up. So
if we remember back to 2017, the first year we had dumbbell snatches, and it was burpee box jumps, burpee box jump overs, that workout, that just lit everyone's spinal erectors up for like a week after, because it was so much hinging, including the burpees. It was 150 dumbbell snatches, which no one was conditioned for that. And that was the first year they told us no hands on the legs. So that also was an issue with needing more back stabilizer muscles. And then another 75 hinges in the burpees to get up and then jump on the box was a lot.
Yeah. So as far as like, if you're, competitive and you're definitely RXing it and you're trying to be as fast as possible, maybe qualify for the next level, mark the floor, make sure you're setting yourself up for success on each preceding rep. Make sure that you're like staying low and just being efficient, and, you have to just mentally decide to go unbroken. Like that's all there is to it. And then it's how fast can you go? If you're more of an intermediate athlete, and let's say you're going to try the RX, but you're not like going superstar mode or anything, I would just say just be smart on your earlier sets. If you do 7 reps and then breathe for like 3 to 5 seconds and then do that for your 21s, that will pay off in the round of 15s, because you're not going to be spending a lot of time just standing there, staring at your dumbbell, trying not to pick it up. So just break it up a little bit. But then on your burpees, you just need to find a pace that you can maintain, because you're never going to fail a burpee, right? It's just you mentally decide you're not going to do anymore. So you have to just find a pace that allows you to do all of them in a row without stopping, and then give yourself those short breaks on your dumbbell snatches.
Yeah. Time-wise, there's a 15-minute time cap, which is adequate.
Yeah.
Like we said, Jeff Adler did it in 6:13. I was 11:49.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So less than twice as long as the fittest on earth. I'll take that.
Which means you win.
Which means between me and Adler, I win? Okay.
Because they have to be twice as fast as us.
Oh, okay.
Or we win.
Okay, so I win.
So you won.
I win. And like I said, I don't train dumbbell snatches, so that's not a strength for me. I'm okay at burpees. I've been sick the last couple of weeks. My lungs aren't awesome. So like, those factors all contributing to me having like, we'll call it a mediocre score. I feel like there will definitely be people in the gym faster than that.
Yeah.
You have, up to 3 more minutes of basically rest time to sprinkle in there, and you could still finish under the time cap, which I think is adequate for plenty of people to finish this one. We had a staff call with the guy that's the head of our seminar staff, and he was talking about, he coaches youth wrestling, and he was talking about when he can see in these kids that they just have a commitment at some point, a mental switch just flips to like a commitment to just getting better and just being better and trying hard. And he phrased it as like, you know, someday you'll just see them come into a meet and they're like, today I am not getting my face wiped in front of my friends and my parents and my teachers. Not today, not getting my face wiped today. And I don't know why that image of a kid getting their face wiped on a wrestling mat has stuck with me so impactfully that like, you just kind of have to go into a workout like this and be like, I'm not getting my face wiped today. I'm just going to try hard. And
for sure.
Maybe I throw up in my mouth a little bit. Maybe it tastes like old pennies when I'm done. And it's like, it's okay. Yeah. It'll all be okay. You won't die.
Yeah. It's it's a good first open workout because it's one that almost everybody could RX it if they wanted to. Yeah. If they choose to make a, decision just to do the scaled weights instead so they can go faster and hopefully finish, that's great. Mm-hmm. But it is one of those movements where if it was a barbell and it was 35 pounds, like most people would be totally comfortable with that. So it's not that much different using a dumbbell. So generally, if you want to RX this one, this is a good week for it. Yeah. If you know that's too high risk and you're way better off doing the scaled weights, RX is 50-35, scaled is 35-20. And then the foundations is basically like choose your own adventure, but they recommend 15 pounds for the women. And I think it was 25 or 20 for the men. But they're like, use a can of soup if you want to. It doesn't matter. So we'll all do at least scaled. And then I think this is a good one to try RX if you're feeling ambitious.
Yeah.
So we'll get everything rolling this Friday.
Heat times will be every 45 minutes.
Yep.
4:30, 5:15, and 6 p.m. Those will be up momentarily after we are done right here.
Yep.
In the heat time, you will be partnered up with someone. You will take turns. One of you will do the whole workout first. We'll have about a 5-minute catch your breath reset. And then the other person will do their workout and you will judge or count for them. So it is imperative, absolutely 100% required and necessary that you've read the standards and you know what's going on, because not only does your workout hinge on that, but somebody else's does also. So you got to do your part for the community of knowing what's going on, knowing what you have to do when you are both the athlete and the judge.
Very straightforward stuff this week. So
very straightforward.
Should be pretty easy.
Know the standards, know the rep scheme, know what's going on, know what you have to pay attention to, and then you can just show up and have at least 51% fun.
Yeah. And honestly, this is the type of stuff we do all the time. Yeah. We do more volume than this. Just recently we did a lot of dumbbell snatches in a workout, and this is super common, normal, everyday stuff. So if you're on the fence still, like sign up, do it. It's going to be fun. We'll make it through.
And my favorite part of the year, someone else counts your reps for you. Yep. You just show up and work out. It's the best. You can turn your brain off and just go, and somebody counts for you. It's my favorite.
Yep. Cool.
All right. 24.1.
See you then.
Good luck, everyone.